Welcome back everywhere to the Join the League season number 4, the Division 1 and 2 playoffs, the very last game for it. Whoever wins this series will be heading towards the Division 1, which is, I believe, called Join Dota MLG Pro League. Something crazy like that, but BBC versus Basically Unknown, where BBC already have a one game advantage. If they can take this second one, gonna be easy 2-0 for them. Good luck for the Season 1 or Division 1. In any case, we're HeflaTV, I'm Coacher, once again joined by Mike Lorisman. What do you think the outcome of this game will be?
Man, I mean, usually you don't really want to ban out someone like an Ember Spirit. I think basically unknown, they just need slightly stronger lanes. Like their mid lane, Shadow Fiend, was just not a proper matchup. Shadow Fiend sometimes does okay, but just the fragility of the hero means that the lane is just such a coin flip that if you somehow get behind, and well, that obviously happened in the last game, then you're probably going to stay behind unless you have a lot of support action. So basically, I know they just have to make sure that their lanes are a little bit safer. I think if they didn't have the Shadow Fiend there, if they had like any other mid hero, like Invoker or a Puck or something like that, they could have just been in such better shape.
It's probably extremely true here as well, and it was also the fact that it was their number one hero at the same time. If they
Mm.
had a like solid safe lane farmer like a Medusa, God knows, like any kind of carry, it could have still worked out for them. But just having a Brewmaster, and although yes, the Brewmaster was extremely farmed thanks to a early hand of Midas, even then it just wasn't enough to pull them through. But coming to this draft, the start, I have to say, pretty damn similar. Of course, BBC they have the first pick, but first pick Lion, that just shows how heavily they actually value that hero. Blink Hex, of course, excellent way to start fights. And basically unknown, once again, going for the Brewmaster.
Yeah, the Brewmaster performed pretty well in the last game, all things considered. Like he didn't really have that many other heroes to make space for, and that's generally what Brewmaster does the best. He pushes back the enemy side so that your carry hero has a lot of free space, and that just didn't happen. So I think opening up the Brewmaster is fine for Basically Unknown. It's a very powerful hero in general. I'm expecting to see maybe Levi go towards the Disruptor, as that's his pretty much go-to hero, and it's also pretty darn good versus the Brewmaster, and the Ancient Apparition play was a little bit underwhelming. So opening up with Lion Disruptor against a Brewmaster is very, very reasonable if you're BBC, and Basically Unknown, okay,
Oh man.
they're gonna bring out the big guns, man.
When in doubt, go for Ogre. That's like, let's say, first departure. If they're in a crappy situation, they go for like a Naga Siren. Basically unknown, they just whip out the Magoma Ogre. That is just the sickest Ogre player. Magoma for sure. He just gets the multicast when needed, and well, most of the time it's needed all the time. So he's just a master of it. But BBC once again, Batrider the pick for them. So not too much variation coming out between game number 1 and 2 so far.
Yeah, we see the instant ban out of the Vengeful Spirit, so BBC going to look to protect their Batrider as much as possible, and we saw the effectiveness of the Batrider in the last game. Wasn't the most impressive hero because it was hard to, be more impressive when Miracle was on the Ember Spirit just killing off everyone, but still the Batrider was always there with the lassos. It was able to cut through the BKBs and the repels and all of those things, so pretty much did his job, and even though he was shut down in lane, he was forced out very, very early, it didn't really slow him down that much, and that's just how Batrider tends to operate, so I like this opening from BBC. They're going to do something very similar to the last game, and they have already won last game, so might as well just go for it. Basically unknown, though, they're going to go for the Beastmaster, and this used to be something that they used to do a lot when they were the Denial Squad. At least Fucking Mad would make this selection a lot. I don't think I've actually seen them run it as Basically Unknown with this new team.
I have to agree with you. Maybe I've seen it once, not entirely sure, but I'd rather go towards the side of no. Definitely, like you said, fucking mad with denial. It was just the go-to hero for them. They just played as a support, as an offlane. Didn't matter for them that much. But here, it can work out. It's definitely nice up against Patriarch because you're gonna be able to scout with the Hawk. So getting the jump on basically unknown will be a lot harder for Balkan Bears. So maybe Balkan Bears. Are there any kind of heroes that can just randomly spam out abilities to scout for Hawks and kill them?
Hmm. As far as well, actually seeing the hawk, that's a problem in and of itself. And as far as killing it, there's a ton of heroes that have skills to do that. Sniper is actually not the worst at doing that, not really because of shrapnel, because he has a lot of range. And if you see the hawk coming in, if you have vision, then you'll be able to kill it off in a couple hits. But pretty sure this is just sniper because BBC want to go for a sniper at this stage. Basically unknown though, they have heroes already to punish sniper, like a roar into a blink clap and sniper's dead. Like you just can't do anything about that. And it seems like basically Unknown, they're going to have a much safer draft this time. And maybe it's just because Sniper is on the other end and he's very much so like that Shadow Fiend that we saw last game. He can just get absolutely demolished. But basically Unknown, they're just so tanky right now. And they have a lot of attack speed coming with the Bloodlust and eventually the Inner Beast. So maybe they're going to crowd the lanes a little bit, being so melee heavy. But if they don't do that, then it'll be difficult for BBC to actually kill off any of these heroes.
Yeah, and at the moment, BBC already having the Batrider, I guess they could still go for a Timbersaw if they really wanted to. But that just may give the confidence to basically Unknown to go for more melee heroes if they really want to draft that way. Otherwise, BBC Massacre definitely a great Timbersaw player, and he kind of played it every single game if given the chance to. Until basically Unknown just kind of chewed their way through the Timbersaw, got the better of him. So BBC maybe gave up at least up against basically Unknown to draft that hero, but it's just so excellent in punishing any kind of melee hero.
There are, of course, other heroes that BBC can pick up in order to punish these melee heroes. I like Timbersaw the most, but I think Jakiro is a close second. And of course, you grab someone like Earthshaker, Sand King, like all these types of heroes do fantastically versus melee heroes. Sniper, not exactly the great hero. Shrapnel on a couple targets is nice, but it's not going to be instantly winning you any fights anytime soon. So BBC, basically Unknown, they just make sure to get a little bit of range on the board, and it should be pretty easy to grab like a Witch Doctor or a Dazzle as their secondary support, or a Rubik, that's good too. Just as long as it's a ranged supporter, then they're going to be fine.
And Rubik has a couple of spells to steal from here. Lasso, most of the times not the greatest just because Rubik himself cannot get into position properly for it. But anything from Lion will be nice. Even a Mana Drain can have its uses, although probably the least favorite ability to steal from a Lion. As BBC, going for the Abaddon, so they want to make sure that if Sniper gets caught, at least there will be some backup. Of course, if you get Primal Roared, even the Photic Shield Mist Coil might just not save you in that case, but... I mean, yesterday I believe Yapsor played at least one game of Abaddon, which was... Well, probably they got crushed anyway in that game, I think, but...
Yeah.
Abaddon didn't do that much for Yapsor.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Sometimes the Abaddon, just as a hero, is not going to be doing that much because he is a melee support hero, which is really awkward, and he doesn't exactly have the contributions that an Ogre Magi can provide to his team. So this pick is always going to be a little bit iffy for me, but in this particular situation, when you know that you're up against 3 melee heroes on the other end, grabbing a melee hero for yourself when you have 3 range heroes already is going to be perfectly reasonable. BBC don't exactly need the ability for of supports to, you know, shove at the lane and try to get lane presence that way. So the Abaddon is a reasonable pick, but I'm just concerned still that BBC don't really have enough damage. Unless the Sniper gets completely out of control. Never mind, they have enough damage. We're good.
All is fine all of a sudden, and basically Unknown running with more 4 melee heroes, which means just Meepo might have an easy time, and basically Unknown, they don't have really the greatest of heroes to even punish a Meepo in all fairness. I mean, they have some single target lockdown and focus. I guess like maybe a huge mana void following a Primal Roar or something might do the trick, but I think BBC at the moment, it was a pretty suiting pick as the last one.
Yeah, they have a lot of okay skills versus the Meepo. Like Brewmaster, typically a very good anti-Meepo hero, just because he has Drunken Haze and Drunken Brawler as well. So both those two tend to wreck Meepos. Battle Fury Anti-Mage is pretty darn good. Ignite is decent. The Rubik skills are all AoE as well. So, you know, Unknown, they have okay counters to this Meepo, but none of the really hard counters. Like you want, you know, Tidehunter, Earthshaker, Sand King, those types of heroes if you're expecting a Meepo pick. And this Meepo is going to get quite a bit of cover. He doesn't have to be the one initiating, as he will have cover from the Batrider eventually. Maybe going to get a Blink Dagger on the Lion as well. So Miracle's Meepo is certainly very impressive. It's hard to not make the comparison of him between him and Wii. I think Wii's Meepo is slightly better, but very, very slightly so.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has shown that he himself is a pretty great Meepo player, and to be honest, I think a couple of players might be like somewhat equal skill level. It just comes down to the specifics of the game, like how much space is created for you, what the enemy lineup is and whatnot. But definitely a capable player for that particular hero. At the moment though, Unknown, they might be going for an aggressive tri lane with that anti-mage. Are they expecting BBC themselves to aggressive try, or do they really want to face tri lanes here?
Well, Unknown, they like have this awkward melee situation, so getting through that situation through just sheer aggressiveness is going to be the preferable way. As the longer you sit in a melee heavy lane, the longer you're going to take chip damage, and then eventually you're just going to get to a point where you can be dove and easily killed off. So going offensive, I think, for Basically Unknown is going to be preferable here. And if you look at BBC's lineup, like, what's the worst that could happen? You go up against a Sniper, a Lion, and Abaddon. That's not too dangerous. Like, Abaddon doesn't really put out that much damage. He's annoying for sure, but it's not something that you can't deal with. The App Store's Lion is going to get to a point where he's dangerous, but not at level 1, and Sniper also is just free picking. So I think this is the correct decision for Unknown. They're expecting the try, and I think they should have a slight edge in it just because of the fact that they have so many stuns with Anti-Mage providing the damage.
Yeah, Mana Break definitely can help out early on. It's a pretty just sizable amount of damage coming out there. So we'll see BBC, maybe if they scout this out, maybe they're going to leave the Batrider solo there, but Batrider might be just easy for there with Telekinesis and that Fire Blast to follow. We'll see though, so far Massacre might not even want to head towards the offlane by the looks of his positioning. Might just start stacking and farming up the jungle from the get-go.
Alright, well, either way, we're going to get this game going underway, and on BBC's side, we got Pedrino playing this Sniper. On the Abaddon, we got Levi. They're going to run into Magoma. Uh-oh, this is bad news for BBC as Sniper is right next to an Ogre. They're going to lift up Massacre off to the side, but Pedrino's going to stand and fight for some reason. He has the shield there. Yapzor's going to come in looking for fucking mad. Get the Hex off. Pedrino there with the damage, there with the Shrapnel. That's a carpet of metal right there, and that's something you don't want to walk on. Rubik is going to be first blood. That's the value of the new and improved Shrapnel, man. It does a hell of a lot of damage, and BBC are going to walk away from that situation with first blood. Miracle is, of course, been playing the Meepo, and Massacre going to head down towards the bottom lane as the Batrider. But a pretty nice start for the BBC side. Getting first blood on a Sniper and getting this gold means that he has boots, and then upgraded boots that much faster.
Yeah, and it's especially important for them to get this first blood because they will be facing this tri lane here, so with those boots, might just be able to keep enough distance between himself and the supports of BBC, especially if Levi should be behind with the Aphotic Shield. So as long as the Abaddon doesn't get caught, I think Pedrino should be fine in most cases. Especially if the Ignite should be there at the same time as the Fire Blast will be, but Pedrino, he's getting punched rather heavily at the moment. So has to stay a little bit farther back, still needs levels to properly get the range going for himself, but just fast introduce Unknown. It's going to be fucking mad at Rubik. Magoma playing the Ogre match as to be expected. Paris on the Anti-Mage with Mind Control, handing the Brewmaster, and last will be Sexy Mambo on this bottom lane with the Beastmaster.
So let's just go over the more bland lanes before we get up to the good stuff. Massacre versus the Sexy Bambo Beastmaster should be a relatively even lane there, but Bambo, already with that magic stick, is going to get so much value, and as far as heroes that want to have an infinite mana pool but just can't, Beastmaster is up there. Spamming of Whirling Axes going to make this lane a little bit more difficult for Massacre, but overall it should be relatively even down on the bottom lane.
Yeah, Whirling Axes do a pretty crazy amount of damage in all fairness, especially should the Beastmaster also go for that Medallion of Courage, for example. I do believe if it was Denial playing, most of the time they played it Medallion of Courage into Boots of Travels into Necrobook, but Sexy Memo might get gone upon. Massacre pretty damn low on mana though, doesn't even have enough for one more Sticky Napalm, and I think that's gonna not be the kill because of that Sticky Napalm missing there. So Massacre gonna have to back off, doesn't have his bottle quite yet either. Top lane though, fucking mad, in some trouble, Shrapnel to slow him down, Earthspike is there as well. Do they have the Hex? Yep, sir, he's gonna get close enough if it's needed, never mind. Just with the right clicks. The multiple instances of Shrapnel also just being of great use, so it's going to be 2-0 all in all for BBC now.
And Sniper doesn't really have that much mana left, but he still has 2 more ready when he needs it. And that was really only possible for BBC to go for because Magoma was rotating off to the right side. I didn't really see what happened so that he would end up in that position, but if Ogre Magi was there, then that's actually a fight that BBC can take just because of how powerful Ogre Magi is. Even though he's only a level 2 hero right now, he's, you know, one of the tankiest heroes in the game, if not the tankiest hero in the game right now, and he will be a pretty big threat. Over towards bottom lane, Massacre is going to get jumped upon by a hasted Brewmaster, and I don't really care who you are, you're going to die to that. There's no real escape there for the Batrider, so it is going to be a kill for Basically Unknown. They get themselves on the board, and as far as heroes to get that kill, Brewmaster is high on the list. A fast Blink Dagger can make this game on lockdown for Unknown.
Yeah, it most certainly can, especially since Anti-Mage, although this tri-lane hasn't worked out the greatest yet, last hit-wise Anti-Mage still doubling up the Sniper, so all is fine for them, and if they get this early Blink Dagger, especially if the Batrider should not get his own just soon enough after that, it might be a huge advantage for them indeed. At least Massacre did finish up the bottle before dying though, so that's a tiny positive. So now with the bottle, he can put quite a lot of harass onto the Beastmaster, which he maybe was unable to do before just because of the lacking mana pool.
Beastmaster's still going to be fine, even having to deal with that harassment because of those stick charges, and I would expect him to grab a magic wand at some point in this game. But over towards the mid lane, the lane that we've kind of been ignoring for right now, Miracle actually has a CS lead. That is helped out somewhat by the fact that Brewmaster just left the lane, so Miracle had a little bit of free space to deal with that, but he's also stacking up for himself in his own jungle. At the same time, he's not really missing out in CS over in the mid lane, so this Meepo is going to be doing just fine versus Mind Control, and until level 6 comes up on this Brewmaster, getting a kill on the Meepo isn't really there unless he actually runs into Magoma. There's the kill potential with the Fire Blast Ignite. Right click damage there. Miracle is going to poof one in to slow down fucking Mad. Nice net, but another clap. Miracle is not going to get help from Levi, coming in a little bit too late. The burst damage just a little bit too high with 2 claps landing, and Miracle is going to end up dying.
Man, if the Abaddon had come in like 1 second earlier, I actually think there would have been the Meepo escaping. Of course, there was a chance that he still would have died there, but... Well, now it's just a rotation that was unnecessary as top lane Pedrinho. A little bit low in health. Telekinesis onto the line. Magoma, he's gonna get a Fire Blast to follow. Yapsor, no way to escape. Does get the Hex to Earthspike onto free as well. Never mind. He is gonna escape after all. Okay, that Earthspike was just perfectly aligned. And Magoma now nowhere to run. Do we have another Shrapnel already used? Maybe a little bit off target, but the kill is there for Pedrinho anyway.
Look how much range that this Shrapnel has. Like, this is a huge amount of AoE slow, and it's not really like the highest slow in the game. It's not really the most crippling, but man, you can't really escape from that situation if you're unknown. You either have to fully engage or mass carry down towards bottom lane. He's going to get roared, and he's going to get brought down. Paris should take the last hit. No, it's going to be the boar to kill it, but man, once you're stuck in that Shrapnel, you either have to stick and fight or just try to run away and then lose some heroes in the process. And they kind of made the wrong decision between the spike and that Shrapnel and Pedrinho just sitting off to the side, just constantly right-clicking away. This Sniper is having such a great time, and this is something that you very rarely see. Most of the time, Sniper have very highly contested farm because of how weak he is in lane, but he's always on the aggressive, and so far this tri-lane for Basically Unknown has been a complete failure, and because of that, they're going to dissolve it. Paris is going to stay on the bottom lane now.
Yeah, and Beastmaster, I mean, he already has the level 6, so he can just start roaming around, doesn't even need to stay put on one lane anymore. So it's, I think, a pretty smart decision by Unknown. They need this anti-mage to be farmed, especially considering that Meepo, yes, although he died, still doing fairly well for himself, and Meepo can definitely just flash farm and catch up. The one thing that is heavily favoring Unknown so far, though, is this Batrider having died twice, and no stacks either, thanks to this Observer Ward, like you just circled out, so... Also gets 1 stack of Mouth Golems, and Miracle does lose his life mid lane. Sexy Bambo, even without the Primal Roar, just helping out with the Wild Axes. So until this Batrider gets a blink, I think Unknown will still be perfectly fine to just create the space for anti-mage.
A farm Sniper is going to be dangerous, but it's not going to instantly win the game for BBC. They really need some of their other heroes to start stepping up. As you said, Batrider with the blink is going to be that tool. But you know, though, going to get roared up towards top. Abaddon, a little bit out of range once again. I'm pretty sure he was in range there for a coil. I don't really know what's going on with Levi. I think he was also in range of the Meepo the first time to land that coil, but now he's going to turn around and try to go for a kill onto Magoma, who wants to turn around for Yapsor. This is going to result in Magoma's death. I'm pretty sure if he just ran straight, he would have gotten away, but Levi was definitely in range for a missed coil there.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. It's just... I mean, maybe playing the Disruptor really is getting to his head. Not entirely sure, but... Well, hopefully it's just like early jitters with the Abaddon getting used to the range and everything. So maybe as the game progresses, we're going to see a little bit better of the action. To be honest, I guess it's kind of panic mode. It's like, oh, we need to get a Photic Shield to get rid of the disable that is on him. Rather than just, I'm going to just keep him alive to get close enough for the Photic Shield to follow. A little bit unfortunate. I think Sniper could have survived that, or at least fought a little bit longer, maybe get 1 extra counter kill. Still, they do get 1 support in return, so it's not super horrible for them.
Yeah, it's 6-5 right now in BBC, their Sniper. Though he is going to die once. He has Ring of Aquila, has Power Treads. He's about as survivable as you could expect from a Sniper in this situation. The problem I see for BBC right now is that their Meepo just isn't really doing anything, and by this point you want your Meepo to either be very, very far ahead or getting kills. And right now, level 7, he's doing okay, but I mean, the Mind Control is level 8 right now, and Meepo's not really leading the way substantially, and he's going to be not having the most farm either, just Power Treads right now. It's rather underwhelming display of Meepo as far as Miracle's games have been concerned, and while this Meepo is trying to get his farm up, Paris is also getting his. So BBC, even though they're having a nice time with their Sniper, all the rest of the heroes just aren't really doing that much.
Yeah, and even Sniper, I mean, kill-wise, yes, doing pretty well for himself, but did just die, plus only has 22 last hits, so it's not that great in that sense either. So BBC, they might be a tad behind. they're trying to go for some aggression, but Massacre cannot really farm out the Blink Tag rematch because Meepo also wants to utilize the jungle. No ancient stacks for them to take care of or anything like that, so I think I know everything's going kind of according to plan. One thing though, Mind Control, going for face boots first, maybe wants to just outrun the Meepo, just to make sure Meepo doesn't get a solo kill on him or something, but I was expected just, as always, like kind of a Blink crash.
Yeah, Blink is usually going to be just the best. I mean, the boots are fine. I guess if you're dealing with the Batrider, then it gets better.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see. As go has been given, everybody should be ready to just continue the game. But even fucking mad, I mean, level 4.5, not too bad. It's looking at Ogre. Almost gonna hit level 5, whereas the support to BBC, never mind Lion, close to level 6 as well. So that's gonna be pretty huge for them, being able to just blow anybody up. And also, Lion, if you can help it, probably like, I mean, as much level as you can get as a Lion are always going to be good. Just maxed out Hex against Anti-Mage is going to be one of the best things for them to just get the kill with.
That Hex isn't going to be leveled up for quite a long time, though. I have a feeling Yapsor is going to be going for a little bit more mana drain, which is also going to be good, but I mean, level 6 is just a hop, skip, and a jump away for him. That is one of the tools that BBC can get to actually get, you know, a little bit more online with a couple more of their heroes. It's going to be coming pretty soon. Their Batrider is also just level 6, though. This jungle is just way too crowded right now for BBC, and it's even worse because this Observer Ward that's been blocking this camp for a very long time. So when they have this many heroes that need to use the jungle and they just can't, then that's a lot of income that BBC just aren't getting. Plus, their bottom lane is completely abandoned. So Unknown, they have more map control. Whether they're intending on doing this or not, it's working out very well for them. But up towards top, Magoma is going to be a little bit trouble. Massacre with a free lasso in, and Magoma is so many layers of dead right now. There's a Finger of Death, there's an Assassinate, but they don't need either. Ogre Magi is going to be a clean kill.
Yeah, Beastmaster would have been a little bit better, especially considering he's getting so damn close to his Boots of Travels, or at least if they are going to be Boots of Travels. A tiny chance that he's going to go for straight off Necro Book also. Still, whatever item he goes for, never, you don't want to die. The more gold you have pulled up, the less you want to die, really. In the meantime, there is that Soul Ring for Magoma, so Ogre Magi doesn't have to go back to base all that often maybe, but still not level 6, so no multicast yet. Of course, once he gets the multicast, probably will start using it to great effect, but Boots of Travels on Sexy Bamboo done now. It's just such a great combination with the Hawk as well as the Boots of Travels.
Yeah, you could do some broken things just with yourself, and being able to reinforce your team fight very quickly with those travels is also going to be there. I mean, it's just Boots Travel any hero with extra synergy with the Hawk, so it's a nice pickup there for Bambo, and he's already spotting out pretty much the entirety of BBC with that Hawk. I'm actually really concerned about BBC because they're not doing anything about Paris. This Anti-Mage has had a really bad start, but since then he's now vastly outfarming the Sniper, and the Battle Fury is going to be incoming, and that's just one more tool at dealing with Miracle's Meepo, who just isn't farming as fast. So yeah, BBC, they're kind of just chilling in their own jungle a little bit too much, I think. Maybe they're putting a little bit too much pressure onto Pedrinho to perform in this game.
I think so too at the moment. Oh, Miracle might be in trouble. Thunderclap does connect. Yapsor not there with the Hex, and Miracle, he's going to get stunned up. Fire blasted as well. Massacre is around, but poof for Miracle. Oh god, he's safe for now. But Boots of Travel, Sexy Memo, he's going to arrive. Finger of Death gets the 1 kill onto the Ogre. Earth Spike will connect on Sexy Memo in the tower. Will it bring him down? Not quite, as Massacre is still alive thanks to Levy. This time around, he was there in time. Aphotic Shield gets the kill, and Mind Control body blocked, maybe mana drained. And Mind Control, I think he won't die himself. Maybe with a couple of extra sticky napalm stacks. He's gonna get a bottle as well refilled. Just gonna be fine with the Illusion Rune. Yapsor though gets the Hex. Flame Break to follow. They need a little bit more damage, and they might just get it. Maybe another Aphotic Shield. Nope, not enough mana. Thunderclap lands on free with the Fate Bolt. Oh my god, are you kidding me? It's just Rubik cleaning up house suddenly from level 5 to level 8.
Dude, illusions, like, it's such a narrow rune, and that most of the time when you see an illusion rune, you're like, well, damn, I have an illusion rune now. That's not good. But those illusion runes with Drunken Brawler, the clap there with the Fade Bolt, first of all, did a huge burst of damage. And then having those illusions just there to clean up, Brewmaster just going to work by the time he was going to go down in BBC. I mean, Abaddon isn't really a high damaging hero. He was out of mana. The Lion was also out of mana, and the Batrider. I mean, BBC, they were just pretty much out of gas, and they only were chasing that because it's such a low target, low health, high priority hero. put themselves in a lot of risk, and it's ultimately going to be a nice little win there for Unknown. But Bambo up towards top lane, gonna get chased down by a Mask of Madness Padrino. Bambo is pretty dead right now. He's going to get hexed up. Has Magoma coming in from behind, already threw out the Ignite. Padrino, Yapzor though, gonna turn things around. Here comes Mind Control, multicast onto Padrino, but the Mask of Madness no longer there. He's gonna turn around and fight. Assassinate is there, will get the kill on the Ogre Magi. Now they're gonna try to help out Padrino while at the same time dealing with Mind Control. Flame Break going to come through. Padrino's still alive, but not for long. He's going to die as Rubik is going to steal the coil. Levi and Mascari have to disengage from this one. They can't kill off the Brewmaster. They just don't have enough damage. Levi is going to be worked down by the Brewmaster. Now Mascari all alone. Miracle is nowhere near being able to help right now, and fucking mad. He has to disengage. He will get away alive with Mind Control. Overall, it's BBC to lose one too many heroes up in this top lane.
Sniper's just so freaking squishy. Mask of Madness doesn't really help that cause either. And also, only having that 1 point into headshot means that Mask of Madness doesn't really provide you with all that much value yet, so not too sure if that item was the greatest item to go for in this case. And still, all the while, Anti-Mage, of course, free farming up, getting closer to the Battle Fury, gonna get himself a tier 1 tower down. Is he gonna go for Yapzor maybe? And when Hex comes out in return, Yapzor just wanted to deny the tower, and mission accomplished, and definitely gonna hurt Anti-Mage a tiny bit not getting that gold. But funny thing is, Rubik is the same level as the Anti-Mage, just thanks to being there for God knows how many kills in the last like 2-3 minutes.
Level 9 Rubik is not going to be the hugest hero in the game, but man, maxing out those two basic skills on him and also having a little bit closer to level 2 spell steal might end up being a difference. Oh man, that is not something you want to give away. Meepo in the meantime is going to get jumped by pretty much everyone. He's going to bring in the cavalry, but the cavalry is not going to last for very long. Levi has no ultimate here, and his best case scenario is denying himself to Yapzor. Not going to happen either. It's 2 kills for basically Unknown. Paris thinking about going for more, but they won't find anyone else. Boots of Travel synergy there with the Beastmaster, which you could also use to teleport to the Brewlings, if I'm not mistaken. We'll get them a couple more kills, and kills on this Meepo, who is not going to be doing anything. In the meantime, Mind Control going to run to Padrino. Blink, or no blink clap, just a clap, and then right click. Axe is going to fly through. Padrino almost dead just from that. Assassinate will secure the deal there. Boom! Rubik from downtown going to get that kill, as they might look for Yapzor. Oh yeah, they're going to go in. They're not scared. Yapzor has a spike soon and Finger of Death. Bambo has to be very careful right now. Finger of Death is not in range. Can't quite get there. Mike Joel, though, with another clap in, wants to get this kill on Yapzor, but he's going to get punished. Lasso is there in tower range, has no split, and Mind Control is going to be going down. Yapzor, in the meantime, is going to survive as Levi provides him a little more HP there. Lion is going to disconnect. That's kind of unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure this fight is just about over. Although there's an Assassinate being primed. Who's it aiming towards? It's Massacre. That's a level 1 Assassinate that will not be lethal.
Yeah, it's going to bring him down to about probably 170 HP, something like that. But man, those fights last for so long, and it looks like Abaddon finally has started kicking in as well. Been doing a pretty great job in the last couple of fights with just keeping people alive, mist coils, aphotic shields. And the great thing, of course, is aphotic shields. Also some extra damage out for BBC, which they are lacking, to be honest, because Meepo just hasn't joined a single fight so far. 3 deaths on him as well. Unknown, they've been doing pretty much the same that was done to the Shadow Fiend of Mind Control last game. Going into the jungle, of course, with the Hawk, just scouting things out, boots of trails to follow, Primal Roar to buy the time for the other heroes to arrive. Just really well done by Unknown. But even then, it's just the Brewmaster who is really far ahead for now. BBC, they're holding their own, and Anti-Mage isn't pulling ahead too far yet or anything like that. So both teams, it's just Batrider does have his blink now. No, still doesn't, although he has the gold for it. So finally, with this Batrider blink, maybe things just will start going slightly better for BBC.
But still, Anti-Mage has been on the bottom lane farming for I don't even know how long. It's only 13 minutes in the game, which it feels like this game has been going on a lot longer because of, you know, all these pauses and all the action, but Paris has not been fighting with Unknown, so basically both sides have been going 4 versus 4. But, man, I would be a lot more scared about an Anti-Mage in the late game. Maybe it's because I just never respect Meepo enough. That's the thing that I do. But Paris getting free farm like this is something that BBC can very easily stop if they were actually intent on doing so. Getting farm on Miracle has to kick in really into high gear once he picks up this Aghanim Scepter, but if that doesn't happen, then you're farming all this time for pretty much nothing. Whereas the Anti-Mage, he's pretty much going to get guaranteed results with that Battle Fury because he just wants to farm for as long as he can.
I mean, I think it would be fine if they didn't deal with the Anti-Mage, if by that they would be able to keep their own heroes, the core heroes, safe. But that's just not the case. I mean, they are kind of lacking vision, but the biggest thing is still just Beastmaster freaking Hawk into Boots of Travels. You cannot really do too much to defend against that. I mean, Levi, he's been trying to be there for sniper, but when the Abaddon is there with the sniper, it's the Meepo getting chopped and vice versa. So I just think like BBC probably, yes, they should have gone aggressive on anti-mage just because that would have meant that Unknown cannot go for pickoffs at the same time while BBC themselves are being aggressive.
Yeah, you just pretty much fight fire with fire, and you're just going to be more aggressive, therefore, that you keep the enemies off balance, and you will have more heroes together more often, and I think that probably would have been a little bit preferable, but it's a little bit too late for that, and they can switch gears, but it seems like they have their focus up on this top lane, and that's fair enough. I mean, you're going to be fighting decently under this tier 1 tower, so you might as well try to do that, but and right now, I guess we're just still waiting for the line. It seems like this fight up on top lane is more or less over, but BBC, their Meepo has to do something really big in this game, because if you compare him to what Mind Control has been doing, 7-2-5 in this Brewmaster, he's level 11. He has a Perseverance. That's interesting enough, but man, this Brewmaster is getting pretty darn terrifying.
Oh, certainly so, and Massacre does drop down to about 200 HP, but has his blink now. Yapsor also needs another like 800 gold, but if he can survive for a couple of minutes without dying, that might be his blink on the Lion as well. So those blinks definitely are going to be a huge, just maybe not a shift in momentum completely, but at least a boost for BBC's own. Also, of course, Unknown. And this Paris only a broadsword short of that Battle Fury, which is going to mean, like you said, guaranteed farm. Nothing's going to really stop him. But then again, Miracle, 340 gold short of his own Aghanims. So that's definitely going to boost him up a little bit. After that, just needs a blink, and hopefully then he's going to start joining fights.
But it is possible that he gets jumped and killed right now. I mean, he's going to be stalked by this Hawk that's pretty much going to be a given, and travels in, or blink Brewmaster in, and Meepo is going to take a fall. So he has to be very careful, and he doesn't really know just yet. Now he does know that he's being stalked, so he will be prepared for this one. But the Batrider now has his Blink Dagger. The problem is that this is such an obvious Blink Dagger being picked up, since he hasn't had it for 14 minutes, and then he gets the kill on the Brewmaster, so he should have it by now. And Unknown are going to pretty much be aware of that fact. Even though the Bat is smoked up, heading towards the top lane, I don't think this is going to be too surprising for Unknown. Still, maybe just with the power of the Batrider, they'll be able to get something done. And Miracle's actually very close to this area, so this could work out pretty well for BBC, just having more heroes here. They have, in fact, all 5 heroes up on this top lane.
Yeah, but Unknown, they're also smoked up, so they might just catch Meepo once again, and sure looks like that will be the case. Oh no, Miracle! Run! Oh, Blink Thunderclap does miss though, so that's definitely quite good as Miracle. He's in some trouble, possibly, as the multicast is there, and Beastmaster Roar to follow. Although, Lasso onto Sexy Memo, they're gonna go for the counter kills, if nothing else. Although, Cyclone up onto the Sniper as Earth Spike, Sexy Memo will lose his life. Storm Panda is in the invis, but under the Sentry Ward, he's just gonna expire anyway. Flame Break doesn't quite get anything done, but it's gonna be 1-for-1, so at least they get the counter. Not all that bad for them, but Paris will get his Battle Fury now with this camp.
And Miracle, he has his Aghanims, but it clearly didn't help him at all. Over towards mid lane, Mind Control, well, he's going to dodge a spike. I don't know how you do that, but he will get away from that Lion, and Lion still pretty far away from grabbing that Blink Dagger. And BBC, if they're always getting initiated upon with this Meepo, then they need heroes there immediately, but it just isn't really possible. That's just not how this game works. So Unknown, they take a really good trade, trading out their Beastmaster for the enemy Meepo, and just buying more space for Paris. Now has his Battle Fury completed, plus he already has Power Treads, so he wants to go for that Yasha, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the build, and he's just getting uncontested farm, and that's, I mean, it's an anti-mage with free farm. You have to do something about that if you're BBC, or else you're going to be regretting it in the late game.
Do you, by the way, think that maybe the Abaddon could have been a Dazzle instead in the draft? Although Magwoma, in the meantime, he's going to probably go down. They have the Assassinate if need be, and as Assassinate, it will be Levi. Going to help out with the Mist Coil, and that is going to be a secured kill there. But I just feel like Dazzle, first of all, is great with Meepo, but then again, if you don't plan to use that combination early on with that just Meepo heal bomb, I guess it's maybe not as impactful. And of course, Dazzle cannot really get rid of stuns, so that's nice about the Abaddon, but I just feel if it had been a Dazzle, maybe it would have been a little bit better by now.
I think I like Dazzle a little bit more in general than Abaddon, mostly just because Dazzle is ranged. But I don't really think the problem here is in the Abaddon for BBC. I just think it's in the fact that Miracle had a very slow start on the Meepo, and you can have, you know, as fast a start as you possibly can have on the Sniper. If your other 2 heroes, the Batrider having a very slow start and the Meepo having a slow start, is just so detrimental for BBC that their supports, maybe if they were super aggressive, that would have changed the entire dynamic of the game, but that just, like, one too many steps to walk away from this game. It would have been like too many what ifs.
I mean, it's just, I only started thinking about the Dazzle is that if they had like Dazzle instead of the Lion, maybe they would be able to keep the Sniper as well as the Meepo alive, but of course that would mean that the supports themselves might not be able to do too much. I mean, Lion so far, he's been excellent. I mean, really well played by Absol, to be honest. Great Earth Spikes, has been there where needed for the most part also. So I definitely think, I mean, Lion is not a bad hero for this, but Meepo finally gets his blink, and it's not like it's that slow. He's still number 2 in net worth, but I mean, he just hasn't been finding the kills, and usually it's Meepo, like, you can get the farm and the kills at the same time. That's why that hero is so great in just snowballing away. So we'll see if he just hit that timing now.
Yeah, it just feels slow because Miracle set the bar so high for his own Meepo that like by now he would have just a whole bunch of kills and he would have pretty much the same items that he would have. So not performing as well in this particular game as he has done in past games. That's still fine because his Meepo play can now kick into gear fully with that Blink Dagger Aghanim Scepter combo, but he might be tested right now as we have a smoke from Unknown with 3 heroes. These 3 heroes are very capable of getting kills, especially if Levi Yapsor are going to be the ones to run into. Blink Clap onto 2. Yapsor going to get his Mana Drain Soul, not too big a deal there, but he will be brought down. No support from Levi's caught in the air. Bambo's going to travel in. Levi has his ultimate right now and is going to scout out what he can, waste time when he can, but he is not getting that much help incoming. Meepo's coming in from the back. Miracle's going to poof in, but Levi pretty much is already dead at this point. Blink forward from Mass Carry onto Bambo. Poof's already been used. Bambo, though, taking a lot of damage. Padrino in the back end, just firing away. Magoma now in a little bit of trouble. We'll get netted down. Mind Control now. Spike and Hexed. He doesn't have any way of getting out of here. He's netted to the floor. Massive amount of poofs. That's going to be 3 kills for BBC. Looking for a little bit more. Fucking Mad going to get caught by Mass Carry. Blink net. That'll catch him on the TP out. That's going to be 4 kills for BBC. And just like that, the switch is turned on. Meepo and Mass Carry, and of course Padrino sitting in the perfect position, gonna clean up Unknown and also take a Roshan.
It's just the fact Lion buying back for this, well worth it. He still has the same amount of gold towards his Blink Dagger, and after this Roche, that's gonna be Blink Dagger finished on Lion. SMY up on the Sniper as well, and one thing I still don't understand is why Levi didn't start running slightly back towards his own base, just because assistance would have arrived faster, Miracle would have gotten the perfect just poof bomb. But even so, 2 for 4, just massive trade. They get the Aegis on Meepo, and suddenly Meepo, he is so freaking safe. Although Anti-Mage, he's farming fast now as well, even with for Vlad, and will get the tower. Just the Blink on Meepo, plus the extra gold, and the Aegis to back up of that, and Blink Lion. Suddenly, they can just start ganking like non-stop pretty much.
Massive poofs towards Paris. The net chain stun is there. You cannot blink out of an Earthbind. And Meepo is going to not save the tower. It will be destroyed by the Anti-Mage, but that's an expensive destruction right there, as Anti-Mage should not be dying at this stage, especially not towards the end of Meepo. And we can see the difference right now. Miracle is stepping things up, and he's now going to be able to do a lot for his team. He still has a Meepo up here, but he still has the Aegis, and he'll get out of there, so he'll be just fine. But now 20-18, they also take out the Ogre Magi over in the mid lane. Padrino with the Sange Nyasha Mask of Madness. It's more or less impossible to escape from him once he actually starts getting on you. Between the Maims and the movement speed, Sniper will stick on you. Fortunately, he doesn't have that much damage yet, but that is soon to come.
So being up against the Brewmaster, is the next item the Monkey King bar? Do you go Glass Cannon, or do you actually build a BKB as well on the Sniper?
I really don't think that like going defensive on Sniper is really that great. You get the Sange Nyasha mostly because of that movement speed that I mentioned before, and of course that Maim. It coincidentally offers you health as well, but I think that if you're going to be picking up a Sniper, you just got to go all out and then rely on your positioning. Because the fact that the enemy team has an Anti-Mage and a Beastmaster, like these heroes will just cut through you no matter what items you build. So you might as well just, roll the dice. They're going to find Bambo up on the top lane, Blink, Hex, and Lasso. Padrino's going to open up with those shots. That'll be another clean kill for BBC.
And it suddenly feels like a whole different team coming out from them. Lion, also his level 11, will have the Finger of Death in only 11 seconds. Also a gem purchase, and Meepo, can he really get the Brewlings as well? Possibly Paris will come in, so they're gonna lose the Aegis maybe, but Padrino is there with Massacre, nice flame there, catches at least 2 heroes, fucking mad. He's gonna go down first. Miracle, he drops low on the Meepo, but still alive. Just Unknown, they don't have any kind of focus fire to bring down a Meepo, especially with Levi being there, keeping that one Meepo alive that is getting focused, otherwise Mind Control does TP out, but they really need Roar to single out that one Meepo.
It seemed like Meepo just wouldn't die there. He had 4 Meepos on top of the Rubik, and Rubik couldn't really do anything at that point because it's a Rubik. The rest of the BBC side came in very, very quickly to help out the Meepo, and they still have the Aegis. Like, I would expect Meepo to lose at the very least the Aegis there. Like, kill him off once, that seems pretty reasonable, but we have to remember that this Meepo, because he, has been getting all these kills recently, and he has been farming for a very long time, he's level 20. He has a lot of HP, not to mention the fact that his item build is also very HP heavy with the ultimate orb in his inventory. Of course, that Aghanims helps you out a lot with that survivability. He's just going to go to town on this tier 3, and as you said, this seems like a completely different team. BBC before this Blink Dagger pickup on the Meepo just didn't do anything, but now they're just all kicking into full gear, and it's not just the Blink Dagger on the Meepo, just like other items on the BBC side as well, like Blink Dagger on Lion, the Blink Dagger Force Staff up on the Bat Rider. These are all very useful items to have, but now that they're actually fighting as a 5-man squad, now that they have so many 2,000 HP bodies of the Meepo running around, it's so hard for basically Unknown to get what they wanted. And I mean, even the Brewmaster split, Meepo is one of the few heroes that can solo kill a Brewmaster through that split.
Yeah, it just feels to me that Meepo pretty much went from 0 to hero after the Blink Dagger. Suddenly, like you mentioned, level 20. Gonna get that hex in about 6 or 800 gold rather. Man, that's just so damn fast. He got that blink at what, 19 minutes in? Something like that. And suddenly there's a hex to follow already. Or never mind, might be a meta style as he picks up the Yasha. Doesn't really matter which item it is, just gonna be great for him nonetheless. And BBC, what do they wait for now? Aegis is going to be reclaimed in 1 minute, so I don't think they can get racks within that duration or anything, but do we wait for next Roche and get another Aegis for safety and then try to rush a high ground? Do we just look for pickoffs, or what kind of a game plan do we execute now if you're BBC?
Well, I mean, I guess I kind of have an answer here because YapzOr just drew out what they're going to do. But yeah, getting this tier 1 tower at the very least is going to be the objective because it's only a tier 1 tower. The odds of basically Unknown wanting to defend this is very, very slim. But honestly, I don't really know if BBC have a clear game plan here. The bare minimum what they have to do right now is just keep themselves together, because the only reason why they're taking these fights so well is because unlike previously, they're all together. They're fighting as a 5-man unit, and it's working very well for them. So as long as they stick together, they will be able to take team fights from Unknown and objectives. And they could just go for tier 2s. They could go back and defend their tier 1 mid. It doesn't really matter as long as they're all doing it as a team. The power of friendship is really what's pulling BBC through right now.
And man, that they have so many Meepos that they have extra friendship, so they even smoke up before reaching a tier 2. And smoke breaks on the Meepos already and YapzOr. That was definitely weird. Maybe they wanted one Meepo to get close by without noticing the main Meepo, of course, carrying the blink. But Unknown, they are going for towers of their own. They get the tier 1, they're going to get the tier 2 top lane. Mid lane though, they're probably going to get intercepted by the Meepo Bone. Sexy Bambo, he's in so much trouble. My god, the poofs just completely dismantling mind control. He's going to get lassoed from the high ground before he TPs out. Are we going to get more poofs? Assassinate is there, Linken's is broken. And well, that's 2 kills. Tower-wise, Unknown game ahead with 1. Never mind. Bottom tier 1 also fell a couple of just seconds earlier, like half a minute, something like that. So BBC, just that Meepo bomb. Who can survive that Meepo bomb like that?
No one. Like, no one in this game, no one, if like you switch out any of the Unknown heroes for anyone else, I don't think there's anyone who could survive that and actually get away. Like, they might be able to survive the initial poof barrage, but after that, no, they're just going to go down. And BBC, YapzOr, and Massacre, they're really stepping up in this game. First of all, we've already said that YapzOr has been doing his job well. It seems like when you're going for a Brewmaster pickoff like that, you have to have the perfect chainsaw, but you can't because you're a Meepo and you can just split through that net. But YapzOr coming in at the perfect timing, teleported in with that Hex, and Brewmaster is not an easy nut to crack, but they kill him off very convincingly. Fucking mad, maybe in a little bit of trouble right now. Miracle, though, not going to pull the trigger with the blink poof. He's instead going to blink. Finger of Death will be dodged, actually, that assassinate. Rubik's going to live for a little while longer, but their Raxes are in trouble right now. BBC going to go right through the melee. Actually, no, will be stopped by a 4-5. Miracle, one Meepo in a little bit of trouble, will get coiled, will get healed up for a little while longer. In the meantime, back end, the Brewmaster has split. Miracle on the front end, though, is going to go to town onto Bambo. Lots of poofs there. Mana Void is there from the anti-mage, but it's not enough. Miracle's still alive, and all his Meepos are pretty healthy. It's slowly starting to drop, however. Vagino's still alive in the back end, and he's really another problem here that Unknown have to deal with. Michael's going to resume his main form. Split, not going to do anything through the Lincoln Sphere, but still, Vagino is still alive, going to kill off the Brewmaster. Paris, right on top of the sniper, will probably bring him down in the end, but it won't be for free. Fucking Mad will lose his life beforehand. Everyone else from BBC going to run away, whereas Meepo, he bought back. He really wants to clean up the rest of these Raxes, and none of the Unknown heroes have buyback right now. It's just the Anti-Mage and Ogre Magi. These two heroes cannot defend up against this Meepo. Meepo can take them 1v2, or I guess 5v2, and BBC, they're going to get a little bit more. Looks like it's not going to be on the mid lane, it's going to be towards bottom. That's fine, because Unknown, again, cannot defend.
And with the Manta style, it's weird that it's one hero right-clicking away only at the tower. I mean, it's more units, but it's one hero still nonetheless. It feels like an Aghanim's Tiny or something. Sexy Bimbo though, no Primal Roar ready yet, so it's gonna be melee racks down. They're not gonna overextend or anything. Just back off, get the racks that actually matter, and play it safe, especially since Meepo did just buy back. So if it died now, it would be Unknown's just opening window to farm up, maybe get another tier 2 or any other objective. But just being 2 racks ahead now, Unknown, it really feels like the game is completely slipping away from them.
2 melee racks is in favor of BBC. Roshan, unfortunately for BBC, is not going to be up just yet. If it respawned right now, then that would just be a death sentence for Unknown. They would not be able to defend, and they would outright just lose the game. But because Roshan is not available yet, BBC have to play this a little bit slower. They still have a tier 2 tower up on the top lane to take, and it should be pretty easy for them to take. I mean, they just blew through a tier 3 and Raxes, so tier 2 is not really a tall order. Bambo on the bottom lane in the meantime, he's in potentially a little bit of trouble. At the same time, Miracle's 4 Meepos up top lane are going to be in trouble. Rubik is going to close in with the Fade Bolt opening. Mind Control is going to get in there as well, instantly into that split. Here comes the Anti-Mage with that cleave value. They're focusing one Meepo. They're going to bring him down very low. Miracle going to fight to the death, but his death is going to come soon. Paris is going to survive, albeit barely. And that's going to be a clean pickup for the Unknown side. They have to worry about their base because bottom lane and mid lane are pushing in, but they have 90 seconds where Meepo is going to be off the table.
And it's pretty huge, to be honest, because they might even get racks from this. There's no tier 2 to stop them. And without the Meepo, BBC's fighting isn't all that scary for Unknown. And even the Meepo now, having bought back and died once again, his net worth isn't that far ahead of the anti-mages all of a sudden either. Shrapnel, of course, multiple instances of it do come down. A little bit too early though. No creep waves there, so only has 1 Shrapnel left. Does have the Monkey King bar though, and looks like BKB will be the next choice for him. Ogre Club picked up. So wants to play it safe. He needs to just be safe. And 50 seconds Unknown, they might get counter racks here.
BU, their base is in shambles right now. They have to go like right now, and BBC, they're just stalling out. Yaps are going to go in straight for mind control. Spike will get the kill. He will trade his life for it, but that's so worth it if you're that line. Padrino, in the meantime, still safe in the back end. Bottom lane and mid lane both in full breach as they take out 2 heroes now. They're going to pull back Paris. A blink out is going to keep Paris safe. I think he will be able to get out from here, but they don't lose any structures, BBC. Where in the meantime, when Unknown were awkwardly sitting outside the BBC base, waiting for another creep wave to go in, the Batrider was killing off the bottom range, and the Lion was killing off the mid range. So BBC are the ones that actually come ahead without their Meepo, which is just unheard of because Unknown were stalled up just a little bit too much because they had to wait for another creep wave to actually go in.
Man, Lion just, the burst power is massive. That's not even a level 3 Finger of Death for him. Just goes in, blows up 1 hero completely. Rubik, he went in so deep also, just to the back lines completely. Probably a mistake because Sniper went in like 3 right clicks, forced out the ult, 4th, 5th right click, hero dead. And Miracle suddenly, well, he's gonna get the backup once again from that Aegis now after the Roshan. So I think there's just last tier 2 and the last racks aren't all that far away from BBC. It's just complete victory.
Buyback status for Unknown, they have 0. That is a problem. That is a big problem because they're facing up against 2 Meepo lives. Hell, they're going to struggle to kill him off once. Like, they killed him off in the top lane that one time, but while that happened, their anti-mage almost died. So they cannot kill him off twice without their anti-mage dying or something like that. So it's going to be really rough. BBC, they're going to assemble the troops up on the top lane. And, oh, actually, no, Meepo is going to send 1 down towards the bottom lane. Very, it's pretty much pure Meepo play here because this is a pretty standard Meepo move, but this is actually going to be the most dangerous thing that BBC can do right now. If they keep Meepo with the rest of the team, if they just make a straight line for the top lane, that is going to be their safest play. But Miracle might be getting a little bit too fancy right now. He does see Paris blink into a net. No, he's just going to leave. TP out. He's going to play it safe. He doesn't know who he's up against, and the rest of his Meepos are going to follow suit. That could have been really bad for BBC.
Thank God that they did come out in time, and with this, I'm pretty sure that Unknown will not be able to push fast enough to actually force BBC's hand and make them back off. Just because BBC, they know they only have to get 1 set of racks, whereas there's a tier 2 to go through, as well as just 3 racks. Or never mind, they can't even get triple racks, just because another tier 2 will be standing for Unknown in the mid lane. So, BBC, if they're gonna back off first, I'll be just massively surprised.
Yeah, the bird is in the air, but blink forward. Net is going to be used, but Magoma's going to get the one to be jumped on. No poofs, actually. Don't really know why that didn't happen. The rest of Miracle's Meepo is going to get locked down as they have 1 awkwardly stuck in the front. Padrino also in the front. That's exactly where he doesn't want to be, but he will get covered. Bambo will fall. Padrino's still alive right now as Miracle is going to fight 1v4. He's going to lose his Aegis, but that's fine because it's pretty much what it's there for. YapzOr and Padrino in the meantime still safe as the Miracle Meepo does respawn. Brewmaster still in his split form. That's going to slow down the illusions. Miracle trying to make his escape right now. Where is Levi? He needs to help Meepo out a little bit, or they need to just go for Rax's, or the tier 3 in the meantime. Mind Control is going to resume his main form. Now is going to throw out that haze, but there are so many Meepos here. The poof damage is going to chunk him down all the way to 1/3 HP. He's going to take a fall. Paris going to do what he can. He will get Finger of Death. Miracle still alive right now. Going to kill off Bambo. He will die in the end. Actually going to get a triple kill for Paris. Huge mana void there with Padrino still in the back end, just firing away. So no one is focusing the sniper in the meantime. Mascari has to disengage. Doesn't really have that much additional that he could use to help out Padrino right now. Paris going to reinitiate. Padrino going to fight to the death, but his death is soon. He will take a fall, and Mascari is the only one to survive with an ultra kill for Paris. Going to look to make that a rampage, but I think Mascari might be fine. He has Yule Scepter and Force Staff, which will be used immediately onto Paris. He has a Force Staff. Shrapnel is there. Going to get up to the high ground maybe, or trying to juke out Paris, blink out, and Mascari will survive. But Unknown, they defend their top lane. Really awkward plays. Actually, no, Mascari still being chased down. Paris got to calm down there a little bit, man. But they kill off the Meepo twice. They don't lose any structures. BU hold.
That BBC just kind of misplayed it. Sniper, first of all, he was too far up. I really don't think they even needed to commit to the kill, especially having the lasso fail into the Lincoln Sphere of the Brewmaster. Just no lasso means no easy way to kill any single one target unless the Meepo perfectly gets a jump on somebody, which didn't happen. He got Magoma, who got forced left a little bit farther away, so the poof damage wasn't really there, and they went a little bit too deep. And although the sniper survived with the help of mist coils and the photic shields, or survived the primal roar that is, even with the BKB, he decided to start backing off a little bit, whereas if he and Meepo both would have gone for the anti-mage wouldn't have survived. I think he got away with like 300 HP after getting rid of the Aegis on Meepo. And also, of course, BBC, YapzOr, Miracle, as well as Levi, all grouping up for that one huge mana void, man.
It's not something that is reliable, not by any stretch, but when you get it to land on 3 heroes, and I don't know exactly how much damage that did, but it did a lot. Yeah, it's going to be like suddenly the best ultimate in the game, whereas ordinarily it's rather mediocre. So BBC, now without their Aegis, I think they do still have enough power on their heroes to go in again if they really wanted to. But it seems like they're not going to take that risk. They're going to back off, get a little bit more farm. This is going to be really good for Unknown since they have more time to tend to their lanes, get anti-mage those additional couple of items. And, well, BBC, they're going to be stalled up a little bit by this team fighting power of basically Unknown. This could just be a momentary setback. However, if they get a single pick-off like on Fucking Mad, they could take this game right back into a spike, Finger of Death, assassinate. Rubik doesn't know what hit him, but the rest of basically Unknown are here. Buyback from the Rubik if they jump in for a split. Miracle's going to reinforce, though, going straight for Paris. BKB is up on the anti-base, going to try to go straight for Padrino, dropping pretty low with the roar there as well. Padrino's going to go down, and Paris still relatively healthy. He's going to jump forward for YapzOr. A couple hits there is going to get that kill. Miracle just not doing enough damage right now, poofing, bringing everyone low, but not actually killing off anyone who will lay it into Sexy Bambo. Now going to go for the Brewling. The Earth one is going to die, but the Wind one goes down. Mind Control is going to get away off to the side, whereas Miracle fighting up against the anti-mage still is going to kill off Magoma in the back end. Now going to go for Paris, but the cleave value is certainly flowing through here. Miracle's dropping very low. Levi in the back end, though, going to keep him alive for a little while longer. Blink, clap, Miracle finally going to go down. And because they have no sniper, Miracle has to buy back if he actually wants to continue this fight. Has no travels, however. Actually, no, he always has travels because he has so many Meepos. Going to look to blink in. Is going to find Mind Control with a Hex. He's netted down to the floor, and he's going to take poof damage. That is something that he can't recover from. Fucking Matt also going to die to mass carry off to the sidelines. Paris is the only one to survive. Brewmaster forced to buy back, but BBC, they have everyone alive right now. They're going to barrel down the top lane, and with only 2 heroes, I don't think they can defend.
To be honest, Unknown, excellent fights. I mean, Sniper getting focused down once again, just not in the backlines for some weird reason. But if this Rax falls, I think it's just last hopes for Unknown do as well. But Anti-Mage will go back in, or he's going to get hexed up immediately. No, didn't get the BKB off. That's going to be his death. Immediate buyback, that was Mind Control. Did just die back, and GG is called BBC. Although it was a little sketchy in some fights for them, still in the end just power ouch because they had a massive advantage by that time.
BBC and BU, like, there aren't many like rivalries in Dota, but I'm pretty sure I want this to be a rivalry. I want these two teams to be always going up against each other because yesterday basically Unknown mopped the floor with BBC, but right now BBC destroyed basically Unknown, and when you have teams that could do that to each other that are so clearly evenly matched, man, you have something really great.
Oh, it most certainly is, and the games also pretty damn exciting almost every single time. No like massive far games, almost always action, different drafts as well from the cookie cutter builds. So definitely fun teams to see. Unfortunately, we'll not see them go up against each other in the Join Dota League Season 5, just because Balkan Bears now, with this victory, they do get a spot for Division 1, as in the Join Dota MLG Pro League. Whereas Basically Unknown, they're going to have to play Division 2 once again. And, well, hopefully they're going to maybe meet for the next Division 1 and 2 playoffs, or if not, in next season Division 1 straight out. But guys, BBC, they finally get their revenge. Finally win a series of their own. But with this will be, or this was the last game for today, I do believe. I don't think we have anything else coming up for now, but do hope you enjoyed the cast and the games. If you did, be sure to check out HeflaTV on our Facebook and Twitter, where we're always going to update you when we're going live. And it's HeflaTV for both. Links also below the stream. If you want to follow the casters, at Coucher for me, at Mike Loris for my co-caster. And Mike, any last words?
Man, just congratulations to BBC. I'm looking forward to seeing these two teams clash again. Unfortunately, I don't know when that's going to be, but when that does happen, no clue who's going to win. It's pretty much 50-50 at this point.
Yeah, it's just like we said at the start of the series, kind of a coin flip between those teams, and like we just saw, both teams able to win just the series. Depends on the day, depends on the draft. Just minor things, but definitely even in skilled teams. But guys, with this, we're done. Just a few songs to finish up the stream, and just have a good evening or an early wake up if you start watching Dota 2 Asian Championship from the start or something like that. But in any way, just enjoy.